Welcome back to episode 176 of the God Guns Podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about God, guns, the responsible Christian gun owner's interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking with author and host of Recon. Whoa. I hear other things going on. What in the world?
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties.
That was weird.
Something playing?
I don't know. Something started playing. I don't know what was going on. That was weird. It was like the show we recorded before. Let's start that all over again. I'll have to edit this out. You people watching live will get to see that. Maybe.
Do we get me watching live?
I don't know. Maybe. You see the comments? If they comment, you'll see it over on the side. Oh, you'll have to check it out and see. So we'll start over since I was so rudely interrupted by my own self. Welcome back to episode 176 of the God Guns Podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about God, guns, the responsible Christian gun owner's interest. In this week's show, we'll be talking with author and host of the Recon podcast, Mark Goodwin.
Oh, Mark.
All right, so we want to thank the bandwidth sponsor, Farms Radio Network. Thanks, Jake, for all you do to help keep us out there for people to listen to, and it didn't cost them a thing.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you.
Unless you just want to send us money. Huh? Unless they just want to send us money and do Patreon. So
I know, right? Also, our sponsor, Crossbreed Holsters. If you're carrying a gun in your truck, in your pocketbook, or on your person, you should be carrying it with a Crossbreed holster. Carry the cross. All right, this week's God and Gun activities, Doug. What are you up to? Oh, man, I've had a pretty good week this week. Let's see. I've been doing my Sportsman's Daily Devotional, also my Words from Jesus for Men. I've been doing that devotional every morning. Had church on Sunday. I hate to even admit this, Troy, but my wife and I at church this past week, they do small groups. So like Sunday night and stuff. So you do those small groups, and they meet at different times during the week, depending on what it is. Guess which one my wife signed us up for?
Which one?
50 and over.
You're in there with the gray hairs.
Dude, I know. I am gray-headed, and I think I'm going to be the youngest one in the group. But that's okay. So
that way you're the coolest one in the group.
I know, right? I looked on the list, and there was not a God and Guns group or a shooting group, which I told my wife, if things keep going like they are, I may have to start one.
Well, they should do that.
Meet at the range every once in a while.
Yep, that would work.
And it wouldn't be just a men's group either. It would be both. So we'd have a good time. So let's see, what else did I do? That was my God side for this week. This week my wife made me promise after duck season was over with that I would take her down to Panama City for a little vacation so she could get away from the house. So we're doing that this weekend, going down, and I am not staying on base, so I will not need your UPS buddy family to store any guns at, but I do appreciate the offer nonetheless.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that this weekend. Going to have a little fun, get out of town again. I got my truck back this week. So
all right.
I am a happy camper because they stuck me in a Nissan Frontier as my rental truck. And it's like going to work every day on a skateboard.
They come with a shoehorn?
Yeah, pretty much. And I felt like I was sitting I could have took the front seat out and sat in the back seat and still been good to go and had room. So I got my truck back. It looks good. Everything's there. So I'm a happy camper. That was probably the highlight of my week. But like I said, I did stop by the gun store, and I picked up some stuff this weekend or this week. And actually, one of the things I picked up, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show all our listeners. If you don't have one, you need to get one. You know what that is?
Water straw.
That's right, life straws. So my gun dealer the other day had a whole bunch of these that they had just gotten in, started selling, and they were running a special on them. Now I'm going to tell you, I got it for like $10, which made me very happy. So somebody's probably going to email me and say, "Hey, Amazon's got them for $4 for three." But I was proud to get that when I got it, and which kind of leads us into our prepper show a little bit, I
Yeah.
guess. So I'm starting on the prepping side a little bit. Um, let's see, what else? What else have I done this week? Oh, I started telling you, Troy, earlier. I picked up some stuff for Little Puff that I was going to change out on my little AR pistol that I got, and I got a new um, uh, the bracket that sets up on the back of your AR that your buffer tube and stuff screws into. Mine was just a straight one; it didn't have anything on it. Well, I got a single point sling, um, and I cannot think of the name of uh, that plate, the buffer plate, I guess, what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
But I got it where I can hook onto it, hook a single point sling to it, and so I was changing parts out on this and that. Well, I also have a Diamondback AR that I really didn't like the stock on it, and I picked up a Daniel's Defense several months ago and was going to put it on there. Well, I tried to get it on my Diamondback, and the stock wouldn't fit. I could not figure it out. I'm like, why will it not go on there? So if you do research, and all you AR guys out there I know are going to go, "Oh man, you should have known that." Well, I didn't. They make a commercial buffer tube and they make a mil spec buffer tube. The only difference in the two is about that much difference. So mine was a mil spec stock, and I was putting it on my AR, which apparently had a commercial buffer tube in it. So I changed out my buffer tube and got everything switched out. And my daughter was helping me out because I'm trying to hold all these springs down at the same time to get everything screwed back in together. So I'm holding down the buffer tube spring, retaining spring on the front. So I'm holding
Right.
that down, and I'm putting a little spring into the back where I screw into it for the upper release on it. So I got everything on it. I got it turned sideways because there was just a little gap with the one I was using. So I had to have it turned sideways. I put my spring in. I'm holding it down. And I tell my daughter, I was like, "Hey, come here and help me for a second and turn that." So she turns it, and it gets lined up. So I let go of the little back spring, and I'm like, "Okay, that's good." I start letting off the front spring, and just as I started letting off, when she turned loose, some way she turns it just enough that all I saw was my detent spring just choom, it takes off, and
Yeah, that'll work.
It bounced off of one wall, bounced off to the next wall, and I see it flying, and it hit the floor. So I run over real quick and grab it before the dogs could attack it. I got it. I picked it up. I was like, "Okay, I got that piece." The spring ain't in it. Man,
Oh
I
no.
tore that living room completely apart looking for that spring. I could not find it. I was like, I don't know where it's at. My granddaughter's got a lot of toys that sit over by our entertainment center.
Uh-huh.
I tore those toys apart. She's got like a tent, this other stuff. And I'm looking through it, like I can't find it. That's why I'm just going to go down to the gun shop tomorrow and get me another spring. So I start getting all my stuff put back in the gun just so I can put it back in the safe so it ain't laying
Uh-huh.
around. And I picked up my rag I was using, and when I did, the spring rolls across my little table that I set up to do
Oh,
gun stuff on.
cool.
And I was like, "Woo! There it is. Thank you, Jesus." So I got it all put back together again. So now it all looks good. Everything's put back together, and I'm a happy camper. So
I found all those lost springs and little detent parts and little bearings and things like that in my office whenever I moved all my stuff out
oh
to
yeah,
come up here.
oh it's horrible.
I got a whole sack of little parts I found.
Well, I need to get me a little box, like a little fishing box or something, and just put extra
Hmm.
springs and all this other junk in it that you lose,
Yeah.
because that ain't the first time that spring has
Yeah.
shot out of there on me.
I've got a whole bag of Glock pistol parts, and then they're all in a little sack. I'm like, They all sort of look alike. I know they've come out of all kinds of different generation pistols and stuff, but most of the Glock parts are interchangeable, within the same frame sizes and things like that. But it was, I've got a sack of miscellaneous parts. I don't have the idea, which gun that came out of 20 years ago. But I got them just in case I'll have them.
I know, right?
Cool. So is that all yours?
That's it, man.
All right. So Sunday did church security and did both service and Sunday school, and we got one guy lined up for us for fourth Sunday, and he's going to do both. And I've got another guy that may do it for me this Sunday. It's coming Sunday, so that'll be good. I'm still thinking about whether or not doing a Bible study. I heard you guys will hear later on, but Mark says he does a weekly Bible study, so that's something I might start looking at doing. My wife's been really hammering me on it, saying that she thinks I ought to do it. We had a couple people wrote in and asked about doing like a daily devotional thing. I just don't know if I'm committed enough to get up every morning and do it at the same time. Probably be a good thing for me. But you guys let me know. No one said they want me to do it yet. So as far as right now, I'm not going to do it unless someone says they would be interested in me doing it, and I might try it and not promise, because I'm inherently lazy. But if you guys want me to do it, I might look at doing like a daily, I don't know, live Facebook or something like that, and just knock out a quick devotional every morning.
Right.
All right. What else on the God side? Trying to think. Most of the week was spent traveling. Went to Daphne went with me up to the Great American. I've got back of my neck's itching like crazy. So if you guys are watching this, you wonder what I'm doing. I'm scratching the back of my neck because I got a haircut. Daphne, I went to the Great American Outdoor Show up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania last week, and we were there. We left Monday from here, and we got there late Monday night, and we slept in a little bit on Tuesday because I was tuckered out. And we went to the Hershey Museum on Tuesday. Was planning on going to the show, but I was so tired I slept till like 10, 11 o'clock, and then we went over there, and she got to tour the Hershey little factory tour. It's not like the real factory. It's like a simulated factory. And then we spent Wednesday through Friday at the show and hung out with our buddies at Crossbreed. And what else? We did.
I saw you were. I saw the little promo spot you shot with Justin.
Oh yeah, we did.
That was cool. Very cool.
Yeah, they got that new ladies belt that's reversible. It's really slick. He sent one home for Krista to try out.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I told her, now you got to carry a gun every day because Justin gave you this belt. She said that would make she commented on that video, on that post on the Facebook, said that would make a great Valentine's gift. And so I brought it home for her Valentine's gift. And well, guess what? She didn't want it. I said, you said on Facebook you want No, she's very happy with it. She just she wants something besides the belt. She wants something in addition to the belt. And so I guess I'm in the doghouse. Okay, so we went there. We hung out with Justin, and Carol had already headed back. She was up there like the weekend before, and it was her first time up there. He said she's like, "Oh my gosh, there's so many people."
Oh, really?
It's a big show, and it was apparently really packed the first weekend. We missed the first weekend, but when we were there, it was pretty mild. There wasn't that many people there each day. We had the one day where it snowed on Thursday, and like we had the place to ourselves pretty much, just us and the exhibitors. Several of our listeners, quite a few of our listeners, in fact, Matt and who else? Oh, good grief. Thomas, and I'll never remember all you guys' names. I'm sorry. I should have wrote them down. But ran into a lot of them during the show, ran into a lot of them at the Cross booth. Justin told somebody back at the plant to promote that we were going to be there Friday from 11 to 12, and he thought he meant Central Time. so I'm there, and I put it out the night before, and we had several people show up during that time slot. He's like, "Why didn't you put that out there?" He goes, "Oh, I thought you meant Central Time." He said, "I just put it up." I was like, "It's a little late now." And so it was cool though, and they were slammed on Friday. When we were there Friday, they were slammed. I mean, everybody was 2, 3 people, 4 people standing around each rep, and I think they had 5 reps there going. And so I just jumped in and started, taking people around and showing them different products, answering questions best I could. And if I could answer the question, I would grab Justin or one of the other guys and say, "Hey, help them out here. They want to buy this." And so we had a lot of people buy holsters and belts. They had a few blim belts, and some blemishes on them. They were selling at half price. So instead of being like $70, they were like $35. And they had, like, if they didn't have it there in the show, they had like $3 shipping, and they offered the same price, and they had like a 20% off discount. Great time to buy a holster. They're now ready to ship holsters, which, like if you got a Glock 19 or a Springfield XDS or a M&P Shield, those things were right there available. So people were just grabbing them and going. They gave me a new cargo pocket holster to try out for my Glock. And they gave me another cargo pocket holster to check out for the Springfield XDS. And so I've been trying those out. And then they gave me the modular system, which I've got my Glock 26 in my pocket of my tactical vest here. And it works really good. And so it's the Velcro back with a real hard backer with a Velcro with a hook and loop, I guess you call it, with a Cadex holster for your gun. So you put that in, and you can put it onto a hook and loop panel in your jacket, or on a hook and loop bedside backup, or on the purse carry panel, or on the bedside we're talking about. Everywhere you can use that modular system at the belly band, all those things you can use that on. And he gave me another panel that fits a larger cargo pocket, or fits a larger vest pocket, stuff like that. So I'm trying all those out, and then we'll get back with him which things I like, which things I don't like, and so that'd be good. He's supposed to be getting me a new holster for the Glock 19. He's supposed to be getting you one. I think he said you texted him. I was in there, and I said, Doug was texting me last night all the stuff he was wanting. I said, Doug, just text Justin. Justin said, yeah, he did. He texted me a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, he texted me. So you got some stuff coming. I've got to get back with him on a couple things. So, but they're great people. Just giving and kind, and we really appreciate them supporting us and helping us out with products and sending us money. So that's a good thing. So if you guys like Crossbreed, or talk to them guys anywhere, or if you order something, just tell them thank you for supporting the show. We appreciate it. Let's see what else. I mean, there's so many things about the Great American Outdoor Show we'll talk about probably next week's show, but just want to give some highlights. Got to talk to Frog Loop guys, went by and saw U.S. Law Shield. It was very good to talk to them, and we'll have a more follow-up on that. We'll have a show with Mike coming up here soon.
Was Larry? Did you get to see Larry while you were up there?
I didn't see Larry there when I was there. I didn't see him in there, so he may have not been there at the time I was. Through the week, it's not as busy. I think maybe the big hitters come in on the weekends or something, but we rolled out of there Saturday morning, so we didn't go over there on the weekend.
I needed to get some more of the Frog Lube skins, mag skins.
Oh yeah, I got some from my magazines too.
Those things are so cool.
Yeah, they had them on sale at DeVore not too long ago.
Did they?
They had him. I guess it's been, it might have been a month ago. Might have been that far back. They had him on there for like 30-40% off. They were cool.
Maybe we need to make some of those.
I know, man. See who else? We was on our way up there, and we was Instagram, and then we were on there on the way. Daphne was doing all the Instagram social media while I was driving, and Tactical Existence said, "Hey, come by Gearhead's Gearhead. What was it? Gearhead's booth. Gearhead product. Gearhead. I'm butchering it. I know. Well, we'll talk about it next week. But we went by and talked to him. He's a Kentucky boy, and we're gonna get together with him. Or I'm gonna get together with him if Doug comes up this way. I guess he can get together with him, do some video. He's got some cool products. He's got they've got a new, what do you call those things? Like the blade kind of thing for the the faux SBRs, the pistols with the grip like you've got, like Puff. But they've got one that it folds out and you put your wrist in, and so it's like a lever, and it works really good. It's coming out in April. The first mod's coming out in April. I think the second one's coming out in June, something like that.
Nice.
So they fit on the tube, like on an AR tube. I don't have one to show you, but they're pretty cool. Maybe we can get one and show you guys. But I'm thinking maybe if they come out with a mod 2 that has like a folding stock, we could put that on, or not folding stock. The one I saw, they had it on MP5, and so it was MP5 that would swing out like that. It's got the same kind of thing as Puff's got. It's got the sliding stock that slides down the side of the receiver, 2 bars that slide down. And so I would like to have that for Puff, and so maybe they'll have a version of that. Ran into the good people over at Dan and his wife over at Battle Horse Knives, and just a little sneak preview. He sent us, gave us this to give away. Knife there from Battle Horse Knives. Very
That's
beautiful
pretty.
knife, a little leather. It's a little small one. It's for whittling or whatever. But they were selling at the show like crazy, and I think it's just really cool. It's like the full size one I've got. But that's going to be a giveaway on a video coming up since I finish getting it edited. Battle Horse knives are just really awesome. I really like them. Really well made here in America. American. Might be some Mexicans in there, but I think they're Americans.
American.
All right. So that's a whole lot of talking. Let's see, what else did I do this week? Had a meeting Monday with local church security leaders. We're trying to coordinate training and cross communicate, give each other intel, and local people trying to hit up churches. There's a band of gypsies has gone through Bowling Green, and they just like walk in the church and start passing a hat and saying, they need money, and they'll just start interrupting service and passing a hat kind of thing that's going around. They've had some people from other countries come in with this weird garb on, like these face masks and stuff, and talking crazy and trying to provoke an incident. So that's going on. Just some really weird things going on in churches these days. You just have to be on top of it. I mean, it's gotten a little bit on the insane side of everything going on. My screen's messed up, so I'm looking stupid in the camera. You don't know what I'm trying to fix here. All right, so that's a lot of stuff. We're going to go ahead and roll on. EDC, of course, the Glock 19, carried it all week last week up at the show. You could carry at the Great American Outdoor Show. You can still carry there. Don't think you can open carry, but I was showing several people my crossbreed holster that I was wearing with the Glock 19 in it, because people were saying, well, how big is that? I said, well, look right here.
Yeah, it's not that big.
It's not that big. And so carried that all week. I also carried the Glock 26 all week, and for the most part, I carried a Ruger SP101 in another pocket. So 3-4 mags. I was ready to go to battle, man.
There you are.
And then had the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 in my backpack, so I was ready to do a little longer range.
In the backpack.
In the backpack.
Nice.
With 5 more magazines. 33 rounders, baby.
I know, right?
Hey, man, when you're in a major metropolitan city, you can be as paranoid as you want to be.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, the cargo pocket rocket, pack mat, holster, and mat. That's some things they sent home with us. So I'm always trying those things out. And that was that. All right, what you got?
Today, actually, I have my HKVP9, my Gideon crossbreed mag pocket holster, and I got my Kershaw knife. And hey, I don't know if I mentioned this on last week's show or not. Did I mention about finding my other knife? Okay, so over 2 months ago, I was sitting in the deer stand, and it was getting dark. I was getting ready to get down, and I moved, and I heard something fall and hit the ground. Didn't think too much about it. I shined my light down. I didn't really see nothing. I got down. I kind of looked, didn't see anything. Pressed on, come to the house. Well, I'm emptying my pockets out on the end table, and my knife is gone. And I was like, oh no, that's what that was. Fell off my pocket. So I was without it for about 2 days, and I went back down to the gun store that I bought, the original one from, and bought another one because I love that knife. It's just an awesome knife.
Mm-hmm.
So I just happened to be out there last weekend. Me and a buddy of mine decided to go see if we could pop a pig in the head with the 17 HMR that I just got.
Cool.
So we're out scouting around. I was like, hey, you know what? I said, let's run up by this. There's a deer stand up on the hill. Let's run up here real quick and see if my knife is actually under that tree. So, leaves have fell. It's been a couple months. It's rained, mud, the whole 9 yards. I get up there and start raking around the leaves. Sure enough, there is my knife. I pulled it out, and this is no lie. I keep my knives frog lubed like I do my guns and everything else.
Right.
Why do I do that? Because it just works.
Yep.
I pulled it out after 2 months of sitting under that tree stand in the dirt, rain, and everything else. There was not a speck of rust on that knife anywhere.
Cool.
I picked it up, flicked it open, looked at it. It was good to go, and it did have some mud on the blade from the rain and stuff. I just wiped that off on my leg, closed her back up, back in my pocket, and now I have twins.
I got backup.
I got a backup, one for each pocket.
2 is 1 and 1 is none.
That's right. So that is a testament to frog lube, how good it is because if it hadn't been in frog lube, there is no doubt it would have been rusted solid shut. No doubt.
Oh yeah. Out in the environment for that long, hot and cold, rain.
Yep.
Yeah. Gators.
No
pigs.
Yeah, pigs. Pigs. I'm surprised the pigs hadn't got it. But I was a happy camper. I found my knife.
That's cool. All right. Looks like you got a comedy corner joke for us.
Comedy corner. I thought this was pretty cool. Our buddy Chad sent this to me the other day, and I was like, hey, that's a good one. I like that one. So this is I don't know if he was poking fun at me because it's about snakes.
I think he was.
He might have. It's about snakes. So everybody knows my story on snakes. So this was called Two Snakes. So 2 snakes slithering down the road. One snake turns to the other and asks, are we poisonous? The other snake replies, I don't know. Why you ask? The other snake looked at him and said, because I just bit my lip.
Dun, dun, dun.
He gonna die.
He gonna die. Gonna die. All right, so we had a little listener feedback. Our brother Steve Stone down in Tennessee.
Oh, Steve Rose.
Says, brother, I'm starting to like this YouTube thing you're doing. And I went to the Sheepdog Seminar in Chattanooga. Sheepdog Seminar is Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman's seminar. They're awesome. In Chattanooga a couple weeks ago, it's amazing how different I feel. It was like a revival for Patriots. But anyway, I was wondering if you ever put your info pack together, the church security info pack you used to talk about every week that you were working on. Wow, Steve, really?
Busted.
But I didn't know if you'd mentioned it in a while, and if you really know how good you made me feel. And you really don't know how good you made me feel when you and Doug were talking about cigars the other day. So I guess I know what to get you for birthday. Laugh out loud. If there's anything I can do to help the two of you, the rest of the show, let me know. And you and Doug are the true blessing. By the way, this week's show with Matt Reynolds, he is very impressive. And so thanks, Steve. You don't have to get me a gift. That's very kind. But we do know that Steve did just sign up for Patreon as a supporter.
He did. Thank you very much.
Signed up big. He stepped up big, man. So we appreciate that, Steve. And as far as the church security, I replied back to Steve before the show. But as far as I have had to revise that security plan so many times, and incidences that I've had to rethink the way the original plan was. So as far as it being ready to release, no, it's not, because I had to change it so much, and because I found out I didn't really know what I was talking about back at the time about a lot of things, and so I've had to change a lot of things. And so I'd really like to give it a shakedown, because I'm still in the middle of recruiting. I've got 3 guys now that somewhat commit to showing up. But I really want a team of like 10 or more. That dynamic is going to be different than what I'm doing right now. Right now, I'm sort of still a lone soldier with a couple of helpers. I really need to get that into like a really workable plan, because I mean, I'm burning out bad. And I'll just tell you that I'm getting really, really almost resentful, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just every day, I mean, every Sunday, I sort of feel like I'm being taken for granted, and it's probably the devil doing that to me. But I need to get a team. I need to get more help. I need to get people that will commit to come and show up on time and do the job and take it serious and not goof around and not use it for social hour. But focus on keeping the church safe, and just working that with a team of greeters and things like that to make it complete. I mean, I've got a few guys that are taking it serious, but they're just not really stepping up. And I'm not griping at them. That's just normal human nature. If it's not really you don't really take it serious. And I might just be, worrying where I shouldn't be, but that's just what God's called me to do, and the pastor's asked me to do. So I stepped in that role and trying to do it. So you guys can pray that things will work out, people step up, and I can start sharing the responsibility with others, and then then I'll put something together. Then right now, it's not a good thing as far as it wouldn't be universally useful to you guys. It's just I'm just making it happen. So that's where it's at, Steve. And you know my heart. I've already expressed that to you. So thanks for the feedback. We appreciate it. And yeah, Matt Reynolds is impressive. And I went and looked at gyms. This week. The one that I used to belong to has turned into some kind of a sissified mess, and I'm not going back there. And they don't let guns in there now. So I saw that no guns allowed, and I'm like, I'm not going into a shooting gallery. And so truck, I went and looked at some other places, and I really wasn't really happy with what I've looked at so far. Apparently they've built one here in Hodgenville, and I went and yeah, it's like one of those 24 fitness kind of places where you can scan a card and go in, and they've got business hours on the door, and I've not found anybody that opened up the door, and they've got a phone number that no one answers. So I guess you have to be a member to ever get in.
Hey, so
hey, I see Chad's on here with us.
Chad is on here. He just jumped in and joined us up here.
So
and his ears must have been burning. He must have heard me talking about him a minute ago. So on your other gym that you said it didn't allow no guns anymore, they didn't have the picture of the Beretta up there, did they? Because I don't have a Beretta. I carry a Glock or an HK. Troy, you still with? You still
I'm
with
with
me?
you. I'm with
There you are.
you. I'm with you. So, where was I at? You have to repeat that because I didn't hear half of that.
No, I said at your old gym that you were going to, they said no more guns allowed. They didn't have a picture of a Beretta on there, did they?
No, they didn't have a Beretta. It was just one of those generic gun things that you really couldn't make out.
Generic squirt gun or something.
Yeah,
Look
well, in
is
Kentucky, if it has that, you can't use it. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. Chad, you got your microphone on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, could you mute that for me? Because I'm getting some noise. Can you
I don't know.
mute your
Can you hear
microphone?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay.
Can you hit mute on your top up there?
Yep.
Because I'm picking up some other noise. And we'll get back with you here as soon as we wrap up the show. All right. So, all right. So that was our feedback. Weekly Bible verses. We're going to be in Psalms 20, verses 6 through 8. And reading the ESV version. Now I know that the Lord saves his anointed, and he will answer him from his holy heaven with the saving might of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They collapse and fail, but we rise and stand upright. Again, Psalms 20, verses 6 through 8. So what are we talking about here? Well, we know this is Psalms, so we know that most likely this one is from David. And so he's talking about that we know that the Lord answers our prayers and that the Lord provides for our needs. And he says, you know, a lot of people trust in the power of the country's might, you know, the power of chariots and horses. And you probably talk about, you know, Egypt here, but we trust in the name of our Lord God. You know, it's important as we, as believers, especially about the topic we have tonight, with Prepper Recon guy, Mark, that we put things in the right perspective, that faith in what we can do or what our country can do or what our community can do, but we're putting our faith and our trust in God alone. Right? He's the one that's a provider. He is providential. He is gracious, and he blesses us. And anything that we rely on besides a God is sin. I mean, we're putting our faith and trust. We're building another God, right? We're trying to build something that's going to support us. God is the only one that's going to do that. Our family won't always be there for us. Our finances won't be there. Our health won't be there. Our jobs may not be there. Our country may not be there at some point. Whatever that situation is, but we will still have God, and not just for now, but for eternity. So make sure, guys, that you don't get wrapped up and get too stressed about what today will bring or what tomorrow will bring. But, you know, if you have your faith in God and God alone, he's going to meet those needs. He's going to provide for you. And anything else you trust in is going to fail. All right. So how can you help out the show? Well, like Steve did this week, he signed up to Patreon and is now a Patreon supporter and stepped up big. We really appreciate that. We had turned it away for a long time. People say, hey, you need to get a Patreon account. And so we put it off and finally said, okay, we'll do it. And then boom, you guys like stepped up.
Yeah, I know, right?
It blew our minds. So Tim Kim and Doug Schultz and Steve Stone, Raymond Thompson, you guys like are at the top of the list of just stepping up. And so I just give a shout out to those guys. The rest of the guys there are listed in our show notes if you guys want to see who else is helping out. T-shirts, we don't have many left. I think I've got one medium, a youth. I think I've got a youth large and a couple 4Xs left of shirts. As soon as those are gone, I'll be placing the order for the new style. I've looked at having Grunt Styles giving us a price on them, and Marty said, hey, you guys need to check out 1776 and give them an opportunity. So I'm going to send them an opportunity to give us a quote on those as well. And then while I was at the Great American, I was talking to Justin. He says, hey, man, we get them shirts like cheap. He said, of course, they're probably doing 1,000 at a time. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have pockets as deep as you guys. He goes, no, man. He says, we got a guy that does our in-house design. He's a preacher, and he does our graphic design. He said, he can help shirt guy. He said, so I talked to him and at the show, I was like, all right, so I'll be talking to them. So, if we can go with a Christian brother, then we're going to go with a Christian brother. So
yeah, those new shirts are bad too now.
Yeah, he gave me one. He gave Daphne one. They look great.
Yeah.
They were only $10 at the show. So they're awesome. So yeah. So we're looking at t-shirts. As soon as the ones that I have here are gone, we'll be jumping down those vinyl bumper stickers. I think I'm down to like 5. I had a whole bunch of orders come in while I was gone, and so I mailed those out yesterday. Patches. We don't have many left. I gave away quite a few to people who showed up at the show and said, "Hey, I heard you're here," and shook my hand, and I gave them a patch. So gave away several patches at the show if you showed up, and then I sold a bunch this last week as well. So I don't know, we probably got 25 patches, maybe 25 patches left.
It was nice that a lot of listeners showed up at the show, and you got to meet them and stuff.
I was surprised in Pennsylvania there were that many people, but especially the short notice we gave them.
Yeah.
So Crossbury gave even shorter notice. All right, so up next we'll have the main topic. As far as the video part of that, it's going to be a separate video. It's probably already posted up now, but we'll have the audio plugged into our podcast here in a second. So we're going to jump on the backside of that. We appreciate Mark coming on the show and being gracious to talk to us. And he tried earlier. It was my fault that I did not get him on the show earlier, but we appreciate him coming on the show. So other ways you can help out our shows, you can join the NRA. And if you join the NRA using our link, we'll get a little bit of love, and they will be very appreciative. DeVore, DVOR, if you like DeVore, you don't know what DeVore is.
Yeah.
Go to the link. Go to the link and find out. But DeVore is like the clearinghouse for optics plant. You can go there. If you sign up under our link, we get a little bit of love. Laser activated shot reporter. John is coming on the show probably next month if we can get him squeezed in. So he's coming back on the show. That reminds me, Ron Bellin is needing to come back on the show. So he's going to be on the show soon. I was trying to get with him while we were up there, and he had several meetings and weren't able to get together. Hoplite Armor, we're a Hoplite Armor affiliate. If you can, if you'd like to join Hoplite, if you'd like to have some armor, Hoplite Armor is a great place to find it. You can use our link and buy something there, and we will be happy, and they will send us money, and it will be good.
Really good.
We need to have Lyman back on here to talk about his armor again in more detail. Last time he talked about prophecy the whole time. So
yeah,
this time we get him on to talk about products, and we need to get our show set up so we can sell through, get our store set up so we can sell through there.
Right.
All right, you got the next two.
Frog Lube, the non-petroleum based, minty fresh, lubricant for your guns. That's what I was going to tell you. We did have a listener feedback because somebody emailed me and they listened to the show last week because I was talking about I didn't know if it tasted minty fresh as it does as it smells. And somebody texted me and says it tastes like crap. I was like, well, okay. I didn't really want anybody to go taste it, but now that I know it's not minty fresh tasting, but it does smell that way. But anyway, you heard the story about the knife a while ago. 2 months outside in the weather, still good. Frog Lube works on everything that needs protecting from rust, and it just works. So go check those guys out, froglube.com. Use our promo code God and Guns to get a 10% discount on Troy and me, and we'll help you save a little money. Save some money. Last but not least, Crossbreed holsters. If you are carrying a gun, you need to be carrying it in a Crossbreed. It is the most comfortable gun or holster you will ever carry a gun in. Troy just talked about carrying the whole time he was up in Pennsylvania at the Great American Outdoor Show.
Yep.
No problems, comfortable the whole time. I have had mine on riding in the car. I will have it on going to Florida this next week. They're just comfortable, guys. If you don't have one, you need to. They're an awesome holster. They got one if you want to put one beside your bed. If your wife wants to put one in her purse, you want a belly band, Freedom holster. My favorite is the Super Tuck Deluxe with the horsehide backer. You can get them for pretty much any gun that you have. So go check those guys out, crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross.
Carry the cross. In our armed citizen, Doug, what you
In our
there?
armed citizen, tonight is woman shoots, kills a man trying to rob her. This comes from San Clancy KSDK in St. Louis, Missouri. A woman shot and killed an attempted robber Thursday afternoon after he had one other man tried to rob 3 people in her apartment. According to St. Louis Metropolitan Police, Jared Richardson and one other man entered the apartment on the 1800 block of Case Avenue through an unblocked door and demanded money from the 2 women and one man inside. During the incident, one of the women pulled out a gun and shot at Richardson, killing him. She didn't just shoot at him, she shot pretty good. The second suspect ran off and is still at large. Richardson, 20, was a Cahokia, Illinois resident. And if I mispronounced that, sorry about that. But like I said, that story comes to us from KSDK St. Louis. All
right. Well, we are going to wrap this show up. You got anything else, Doug?
That's it, man.
Oh, yeah. Ron Billings will come on the show. As I was mentioning earlier, he's got several things coming up he wants to talk about. We've got several guests in the next few weeks we're going to have on the show. So make sure you let us know anything kind of topics you want to talk about here in the near future, any kind of people you'd like us to talk to. Hey, send us some feedback. Let us know if you like the show tonight. Let us know, and we will try to get more guests like that on. We're going to wrap it up, so send your feedback to Troy at GodandGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GodandGunsPodcast.com.
Please tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review and like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/GodandGunsPodcast. You can follow us on Twitter at GodandGunsPod. Search for us on Instagram and search for us on MeWe. Our website is GodandGunsPodcast.com. So until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.